It's the Two Gems Podcast.
Never seen you so nervous, Sheridan.
Cha 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 cha.
Do da cha cha cha.
Hey,
Hi.
how are ya?
You got a bug on your forehead. Come here. Come over here.
A bug?
Little tick. No, I'm just kidding.
That's not
Yeah.
funny. Don't joke about ticks.
Yeah. Here. There.
Is it gone?
It's in your eyebrow now, but this camera won't see it.
Well,
oh my God, it's gonna drive me crazy.
okay, let me get it.
Bring
Let
the
me
bug
get it.
over here.
No,
Here.
I'm
You
gonna
won't
look-
know. You won't even see it. It's so
Just
small.
hold on. I see it. I see it. Hey.
It's the Two Gems Podcast. Sheridan, are you bringing some fire today?
I'm gonna try. Is everything on? We're good.
Yeah, we're good. We're recording, baby. Here we are.
Episode 8. What was that stat that you heard where it's
Is
like,
it episode 8 or is it episode 7? You said in the last episode to
Shit.
not.
okay,
this
either
might be
7 or 8. But what I was going to say was, what was that thing that you had heard somewhere that it takes up to like 30 episodes to really get into the groove?
What?
You said that to me, and I keep telling everyone, so I hope you're right.
Oh, yeah, at episode 30.
No, but you said
No. It was on YouTube. The YouTube algorithm. I think it's on average it takes something like 20 or 30 videos before YouTube starts like really loving your shit. Apparently, that's what I heard. Yeah.
Oh,
but who knows?
I kept telling myself, because you had said it's like 30 episodes until you can like really find your groove, and I was like, okay, yeah, Matt read that somewhere, so it must be true. So we're almost there to finding our groove.
Almost.
Yeah.
We're not even a third of the way there.
Well, listen, I'm rounding it up to 10, which is almost 20, which is almost 30. I'm being positive here.
Oh my God.
Okay, so
Sure,
the
you got a
other
little
day,
glow about you. What happened
my
20 minutes ago? Look
Matt
at
and I
her.
had sex, whatever. No,
Some
it was really good.
mediocre. No, it's
No, it was good.
a good little sesh.
It
You had a
was.
kimono on? That
Yeah.
was cute.
It was cute. It's fun to switch it up sometimes.
Here's something fun. A little
Okay.
fun factoid. I don't think I've ever seen you in lingerie.
Also, fun factoid. You've asked me over and over and over again to put on lingerie. I don't know what it is. I don't know, because I think I just maybe get too in my head. For some reason, I visualize.
In your head?
I visualize when I'm like coming out in the lingerie that like I need to do like a little sexy dance or something.
What, you overhype lingerie sex?
Totally.
What?
I think that's the reason why I do it, because you're like just throwing your lingerie. I'm like, well,
Ah,
I need to like do my hair, and like lingerie is like a whole thing.
It's like a little prop.
Yeah.
I don't know. It adds a little excitement, a little window peek. A
No,
little,
I know what you mean. It
Yeah,
just leaves
it-
a bit to the imagination.
yeah, a
so
little
it's, like,
something.
butt naked.
Yeah, it kind of holds everything together too. Like everything's all tight. You know what I mean? Kind of like pulls your boobs
Yeah.
up and brings them in a bit and covers things up a little. It's a thing. It's a thing.
Okay.
I don't know. So sometimes
Should
men
I make
like
a
a little.
promise on the podcast? That
Do you want me to wear some lingerie? What is men lingerie anyway?
I
Here
don't.
I am talking smack. I come up with my crusty old Reebok undies. And
The hole in them. Hey, Matt, throw these ones out.
Yeah.
Actually, there was a meme that I posted forever ago, and it was like, men always want you to wear this. Yeah, this is what's in their closet. And it's like all old, like holy underwear, literally ripped everywhere.
yeah,
So true.
classic.
So we had talked the other day when we were out to lunch, Morris East. I just want to quickly say to anyone in the Halifax region that I have personally never enjoyed a dessert more in the HRM than the salted caramel tart at Morris East.
Yeah,
Personally.
it's so good.
I've never had a dessert that has been better, that is superior. So if you have tried that dessert and you have something that's better, please let us know, because I am...
It's like a little salted buttery caramel tart thing.
And I don't even like tarts. I actually hate tarts. So I remember the first time I had it, I was like, a tart? But it came with that lunch special back in the day. Like, it was just a part of it. And I ate it because obviously I eat all sweets. And I was like, this is the best thing I've ever had in my whole life. And then, the rest was history.
So it's because salt opens your taste buds, eh?
But even
That's the
without
thing.
the salt, it would still be good.
No, the salt makes it. The salt, like there's like this kind of like big crunchy sea salt on the top. It absolutely makes it.
Like, to the point where I was so obsessed with it that like in the midst of the pandemic, I was like calling them being like, are you guys open? Can you please, like, are the butter tarts available? Or the salted tarts? I'll come pick them up. Well, I drove all the way from Hubli over to
Gets
Bedford.
arrested.
Yeah, just for the tarts. Madame.
You're supposed to be
I'm
locked
here-
down.
yeah, I'm here.
What are you doing here for a tart?
It would have been worth it. It was good.
It's good. It's
Matt's
growing on me.
drinking non-alcoholic beer, which I actually really enjoyed when I was pregnant. So non-alcoholic wine tastes to me like total shit. It's basically like drinking juice.
Yeah.
However, there's a lot of non-alcoholic beer that I actually find tastes like beer.
Yeah.
You get the same, like there's a couple times I was pregnant with Sage, I was like, oh my gosh, I just missed the taste of beer. And actually, speaking of salt and it opening up, I'd pour a little bit of salt on top of it. My dad taught me that trick.
Salt Bay.
And it opens the beer right up. And I'd have that with some peanuts.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know.
Salt opens up your palate.
Yeah,
lets you
you're right.
absorb more flavors. Fries suck. Add some salt. Boom. Gets
Or
all
is
the
it just that salt tastes good?
No, like salt. What it does, it opens up the
Palate?
yeah, like it makes your tongue like open up and absorb more flavors.
But also, can't you just find salt is yummy? Or is that just...
Salt on its own?
Well,
No.
all right. Okay. Yeah, I suppose you're right.
Jordan, what the frig are we doing on this episode?
Okay, so
what are we doing here, babe?
So what I was saying was we were at Morris East eating, and Matt and I were talking about what we're going to talk about on the podcast because we have a couple episodes to record before we go. And I was like, we should talk about our past. Now, the way I worded it was I said that we were going to talk, our past relationships. I was like, let's just talk shit about it. But truthfully, like we're a little bit above that. Although everyone's like, we're here for the tea. But, we both had lives before we met.
Yeah.
I met you when I was 24 years old and you were 28 years old. And we had both loved before that and loved and lost, had our hearts broken, had full on relationships, been in love with other people. And obviously when I started my Instagram journey, I was in a relationship with you. So nobody really knows about the past. And and I think everybody finds past relationships kind of interesting and all the hot goss. And there's a lot. Like my mom messaged me when she saw I posted this and she
I feel
goes,
like you're in your element on that.
she goes, oh yeah, I know, just talking shit. I'm like, never been more on fire. No, my mom messaged me and she goes, well, honey, like, it looks like everybody wants to hear about this, but I don't think there's too much drama, is there? And I'm like, oh, sin. Oh, sin.
Well, yeah, I mean, yesterday when we were shooting the shit about this and like how we were going to do this, it seemed like such a good idea on paper, on your phone screen. We were writing ideas down, and then I had a bit of a change of heart last night. I was like, I don't know how hard in the pain are we going?
Well, here's the thing, like we don't need to obviously like.
Well, bleep names.
Of course.
But then everyone's going to know who they are.
But that's not entirely true because I talk about my ex a lot. And sure, maybe some people know who it is. Like I'm talking, like I make reference to him. But like maybe a handful of people know. Otherwise, people don't know. And they'll never know because there's no evidence. Like if people creep your profile, they're going to find some stuff and figure out exactly who we're talking about. Okay, Matt's deleting his account. Yeah. But for me, you wouldn't know,
Goes
right?
private.
You wouldn't know. There's no pictures of anybody that I've been with before anywhere on the internet. So
that's findable. There's a way.
No, there's
Hit
not.
my DMs. I'll let you know. $5 a pop.
No, but I was thinking about this, and I was in. I probably loved more people than you have, like in the past. I have.
What is love?
Well, that's a good question. That's a good question because actually, as I was driving home today after I dropped the kids off, I was thinking about this episode, and I was counting on my hand who I've loved before you because I was like, okay, who has it been?
How many people have you loved?
And I think I've probably loved.
You got two hands out? Oh my God. What?
I think I've probably loved like 7 people before you.
Wow. Mm-hmm. What about your little love 3 times shit?
I know. Well, your numbers.
Oh my God.
No, but.
Who'd you love the most?
Well,
Number 4.
Yeah.
You're okay, but I mean, God.
No, but I've loved a lot of people, and I think that's cool actually because I experienced love in all sorts of different forms. I experienced young love. I experienced steamy chemistry love. I experienced toxic love. I experienced it all really, and then I experienced my home love, which is you, my forever one. But what I was thinking about on the way home was how every person that I had ever been with I was going for the same type of person. Yeah. Just somebody that I obviously should not have been with. Somebody I got a thrill out of the shitty relationships. And almost, I don't know why. Like, I certainly didn't have a shitty upbringing. Like, my dad wasn't a piece of shit, or I didn't have any, like, issues. So it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But if I were to dig deep down, I think I'd probably say that I chose to stay with people and be with people because I believed that I could change them. I was so convinced. Like, okay, yeah, so
I was gonna ask you what's a shitty relationship? Like, what is it?
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe that's the insight into it. You thought you could change somebody a bit.
well, I even think
It's like a little challenge for you.
well, it wasn't a challenge. I just thought that I could bring out the best in them when that's really not the case at all. We obviously just weren't meant to be, but I was like, this is it. Like, but you should never change anybody for a relationship, and nobody should ever change you either. And I learned that the hard way. I even remember I was dating this guy, and if I really think about it, I think I know we said we shouldn't say like, oh, we talked about this on the last episode, but I think I brought this up about how he lived in the Bahamas. And oh, did I not?
I don't
Okay,
think
so
so.
anyway.
You mentioned that you wanted to live somewhere hot at one point. Maybe that's what
Yeah, that's what it was. But like, he was so incredibly different from me, and we started off as not in a relationship. Like, we started off more as like I'm like talking about hooking up with other people, but that's what we started off as. Like, we didn't.
What?
Yeah. What? You know, people that did stuff together intimately.
What
like,
did you do?
you're-
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You
What?
touched another penis?
Yeah, I did. But what I wanted to say was, what I was gonna say was that he is great for someone, I'm sure. I don't know if he's in a relationship now at this point, but I remember I tried so hard to be what he wanted me to be, to the point where I'll never forget this. We were Skyping one time because Skype was cool.
Skype?
Yeah. And after the phone conversation,
Would you have a sundial outside? Like what?
after the phone conversation, he was like, "You looked really great, but like next time, maybe you should like wear more lip gloss or something like that."
What?
Right.
No.
I swear. And I was like, okay. And in my mind, I'm like, yes, okay, I will wear more lipstick next time. And if I swore, he said that I had a potty mouth. If I wore sweatpants, like that wasn't cool. Like all these stuff. And
Who are we talking about?
I'm not naming names.
Well, we're going to bleep them. Who are you talking about?
Are you actually wanting
Yes.
to know? The Bahamas.
Yeah.
Oh, you're putting it together now. And
What a dweeb.
well,
That sounds ridiculous.
but that's what he wanted, and that's not what I was. And I
People
tried
like that
so
are
hard.
so weird, though.
But but he's a nice guy, and that's cool. It's just
No, but
because
I'll jump in.
I even said at one point, like I remember being like, I think I'm starting to fall in love with you. I did not. He is not on my list of who I love, by the way. And
didn't make the big cut.
and he wrote back, and he was like, you know what, Sharon, I think I'm really starting to fall for you too. But here are some things you can change.
What?
We actually talked about it later. Remember when I went to the Bahamas and I told you we went out partying together
Yeah.
with Talina and all of them? And
Oh, was he there?
Yes.
Oh,
you didn't
my
know that?
God.
You did know that.
Maybe I did.
We talked about it. It's been a couple years now. But we sat down and we chatted, and he apologized, basically. And I was like, yeah, that was pretty whack. But you need to find somebody like this, and this. I found my person that loves all the things that you didn't like about me, right? So rather than trying to change me, to mold me into somebody that you wanted to love, you could have just said, Sharon, this isn't it.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
But instead, he was trying to make something out of me that I just wasn't. And I was trying to please him. So I tried, and that obviously failed miserably.
So before we move on, you said something a few minutes ago that I always find to be such an interesting statement. You said you touch peens before my nose. No.
said you
said
dabbled in a lot of dick.
Yeah, oh my God. Just backstroking dick pools like what? Oh my God.
Yeah, sorry, just kidding.
Sharon, wow, there's a new side to you here. Your fans are finding out about here, right?
Guys, it's
Oh
not-
my goodness.
It's-
No, what I was gonna say is that it's kind of like a textbook thing to say that you should never change for someone else, kind of thing. Do you ever think you should change anything for anyone else? I'm
Well,
just
I
showing that
think-
out there. It's an interesting thing.
I think at the core, like who you are, I don't think that you should change for somebody else.
So at the core, what does that even mean? Like, what does that mean?
Like who
But
I
yeah,
am.
it just crumbles.
Fizzles away.
Yeah.
No, but just who I am as a person.
Like,
Sheridan.
are the sweatpants you? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
The sweatpants are me. Like
The no lip gloss.
that's who I am.
I'm just fucking with you. I just want to hear what you're
No,
gonna
but
say.
that's who I am. But, you know, for example, if you said, hey, Sheridan, I would appreciate it, or conversations we had, like maybe be more apologetic about something, or like change things like that, look into yourself and think, can I change that to grow our relationship? But like surface shit like that, where it's like, sorry, I'm just looking at the phone because
Sheridan, don't get distracted in the middle of our podcast.
Sorry, it was from our daycare teacher. I wanted to make sure it was nothing bad about Sage. Well, what do you think you are at your core, and what people should change and what they shouldn't?
No, and this wasn't like I wasn't trying to catch you in anything. I'm just curious because I hear people say that a lot. They say you should never change for someone, and I'm really just trying to draw the distinction between like what is those core fundamental things about you and what is okay. Like I make the bed now. And I never used to make the bed before you. I just didn't care. It was just a waste of my life. And now, even when you're gone, I wake up, I make the bed, I get the pillows arranged, I throw the little like throw blanket.
But that's not who you are as a
I know. But I just want, because you hear people just throw that blanket statement out there. They're like, you should never change anything about you for somebody else. But it's like, I think that if people don't challenge you a little bit, then are you ever going to grow in this world? I don't know. I'm just asking the question. Like,
for sure. But I think if it's positive changes, then that's a good thing. But like somebody telling me to stop doing this and stop doing that and this will make me like you more.
So where do you draw the line?
Well, I mean, I don't think that me putting lip gloss on makes me superior.
That's a little weird. That's a little weird.
But
I'm just trying to get to the root of it. Where do you draw the line between what is acceptable for someone to ask of you? Or should they not ask you of anything? You should just pick up on it and make the changes organically? Or
it's hard for me to reflect now of when you and I first got together because it's almost been 8 years now.
Yeah.
Or it has been 8 years, right? We celebrated our 8 in April.
Yeah, I think we're over 8.
Wow. What a milestone. Actually,
that's crazy.
It is kind of important to note because obviously my relationships were not working. The longest relationship I was in without like breaking up was probably like a year and a half, truly. Like a full on.
Yeah.
Maybe 2, maybe pushing 2. That's about it. And 8's a big deal for me.
It is.
Sheesh.
Big deal for anyone. It's almost a decade.
Well, and you know they have that thing where they say, 7-year itch?
Yeah.
If you make it past the 7-year It's just thinking of your past and how that went right to the 7-year itch.
Yeah.
And then got real itchy. But I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I just know that when you and I got together, I felt like I was allowed to be myself. And yeah, sure, I changed some things for you, whether that be, I don't even think I have changed anything for you. Do you? Like,
have I changed stuff for you?
Well, we've changed together. Like, we've grown up, right? We're 8 years from where we started. So obviously we've changed, but I don't think there's been like things where I'm like, ugh, I need to change this for Matt. But maybe something like how I wasn't very good at apologizing before. Or whatever. And now...
Is that a thing? I'm trying to think.
Well, oh, yes.
Apologizing.
Yeah, I was really bad at it.
Yeah.
But now I'm really good at it. Like, I will say to you, I'm sorry, and I fucked up. Or did you not think? What? Nice.
What? Have you ever said I'm sorry?
I do. Okay, so we've learned that Sheridan hasn't changed at all.
Yeah.
And don't change for
Sharon's
anyone.
whack AF.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't change for anyone.
You've
I'm just posing the question because I've heard so many people say it. I've said it. I've echoed that same sentiment. Don't change for people.
Yeah.
But
it's okay. Put it in the comments.
I'm just
mean
wondering, like, where do you draw the distinction? Because, like I said, I think if people don't challenge you to evolve a little bit, then will you ever grow as a person? And I think that you take something from all of your past relationships and offer something new to your new human that you've.
Well, I've
days
been the
with.
best that I've ever been in a relationship with you,
Yeah.
and I think that's because I felt like you were a safe place for me. And I think I felt with all my other relationships that I didn't feel secure enough in that relationship. So perhaps, I would have a conversation I shouldn't have had with somebody else that I'd been involved with or something like that. Like I just didn't, I never like shut the door. That was actually always my thing. Jesse's like, what is your problem? You never end things. Like you always kind of have every person you've ever been with just there to chat and open a door with. Like, and
What? This is new to me. What?
not that I ever
My five's riddled with X's.
No, but I just never closed the door.
Yeah.
Because I am who I am, and I was always very kind, and even on our breakups, there was still love there. There wasn't exactly love lost except for the most recent one, but beyond that, it was always still a nice relationship that you would kind of leave it open to have conversations, to say, hey, how's it going? Not to go and bang them.
Yeah, that's fine.
But I know, but I'm just saying that I always kind of left that open, even trickling into my next relationships, which obviously was damaging. Like you don't need to be having conversations with past people while you're trying to be in another relationship. right?
Yeah, sure.
No, you don't.
I don't really think you were working with.
Yeah, I know.
Like I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really care.
I guess
I would hope that the person that I'm with, and the last one wasn't like that, but I would hope that the person that I'm with is honest and faithful. Like that would be one of the qualities that I would look for in a person, especially after everything that's happened.
I think I look back on the people that I was with, and it's just so different than like what you and I have, that it's almost like you can't even really compare it. And truthfully, I just thank my lucky stars, because I feel like I was just continuing on with like people that were just not good for me. And sometimes I sit there and I'm like, wowie, like what? Like so fantastic that you came into my life, because otherwise, like, who knows? Like, just the people that I was attracting were just not for me, and not trustworthy people. And I guess it kind of made me feel like sometimes I was untrustworthy too, right? Because I'm like, whatever they're capable of, what am I capable of?
Yeah. So I wonder what it was about you that, like, shit was attracted to you.
I don't know.
What was it?
I honestly do not know. And I put myself.
Was it the circle that you hung out with and stuff? Like in your proximity, you would attract people that would hurt you? Or
I don't know, but I remember there was this guy that I actually really liked. I really liked him, and he was probably the first guy I really liked since like all like the baloney in university and high school and stuff. And I really liked this guy, and I remember being like, I actually really like him. Like, this could be something. Like, he was a good guy, good family, like all these things, all these qualities. Met my family.
He is your soulmate. Yeah. I'm just a holdover.
No, but met his family. He met my, like, it was just nice. It felt nice for the first time in a really long time. I was like, this just feels normal, right? And then I fucked it up. I forget what I did, but I did something.
Oh my God. What did you do?
I didn't do something shitty, and we certainly weren't like labeled boyfriend and girlfriend.
What did you do?
Well, I'm trying to think back, but we weren't labeled boyfriend and girlfriend, but I think I just seemed sketchy. Like, I just seemed like it's like, oh, Sheridan's just out and doing her own thing and whatever. I didn't give him that feeling that like I'm with you and with you only. And whether that was because I was burned before, I don't know. It's just that I felt, oh my God, I felt like I just couldn't trust anyone, I feel. But then you came along, and I just trusted you right away. I don't know. I don't know what made you so, I don't know, my forever person. I really don't.
I find it really interesting when I talk to people who they say they have such a hard time finding someone. Like, they can't find someone that's even really worth the time and investment to really get into and think that this could be a, even if it's not a forever thing, a decade, 2 decades, there's just someone that's worth your time.
Right.
I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Like, even, like, I was I'm still nursing a little bit of a hangover right now, everybody. I went out on Canada Day, and time did I roll
5
back?
days later, yeah.
Yeah, oh my God,
I
we were
came
into
home
it.
at 6 a.m.
Oh my God.
But you were talking to some people over there?
Yeah, I mean, I was surrounded by women all night because
Yeah.
I didn't feel like going up and playing pool and washer toss and shit, so I just parked it by this fire table and just like shot the shit with a whole bunch of women all night. It was really funny because all of them were watching our podcast. There was a lot of jokes
guys.
about that.
Yeah.
No, it was really funny though because it like our podcast became like icebreakers for certain things.
Right.
Like there was some hilarious conversation.
Good.
Based on like episode 5 or whatever
Porn.
it was. Yeah, porn stuff. And just hearing, because no one wants to bring it up, but everyone kind of wants to talk about it a little bit. And so the segue to getting into all these sexual chats and laughs and everything was our podcast. Yeah. Anyway, there was an awesome person sitting next to me for like a good chunk of the night. And she was saying that she just has such a hard time finding a guy that's great and worth her time. And then she was kind of saying that there was a guy that's in jail right now that she really likes a lot, but weird.
Is that the end of the conversation?
No, she's such an awesome person. And I see that from like lots of people all the time where they just can't find someone that's like a fit for them. But then for me, like I've never had any problem finding someone that I get along with and enjoy. Like I have no problem. Like I feel like if you and I split up, like heaven forbid, like it would be absolutely awful. But how long would it take me to go out and find somebody that I
Your
think
newest bachelor, guys. Round them up.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Hey.
Yeah. No, I know.
I feel like it would take me like aside no. Beside the fact that like I would have a broken heart and my whole life would be upside down, and my business partner and everything.
Right.
Everything.
Right.
Our kids, like I'm talking about remove all of those little facets.
Yeah.
How long would it take me if you just like disappeared?
Right.
If you just disappeared, how long would it take me to go find another cool chick that I could hang out with for a certain amount of time?
Right.
5 seconds. There's people everywhere that are so dope. I don't like. I'm not saying that they would be my soulmate or anything. I'm just saying, like, could I go on a date with you and hang out? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
You got to wonder, too, what people have gone through to lead them to where they're at today, right? Truly, though. You're laughing at the fact that you could just ditch me right away. Matt finds that really funny, guys. Yeah. How quickly you just poof. Don't spit it out, hon.
oh my God. Yeah, got her together.
But I also do think that a big part of it is who you dated, what happened to you in those relationships leading up to that makes you feel a certain way. Like I said, all in my past relationships, I had been cheated on, I had been burned, and then for some reason I just let go and held your hand, and it worked out. But maybe had it not been you, I would have continued with those reservations and had a hard time meeting people and connecting, because I just would have always had my guard up a little bit, you know? And I think that's a big telling issue as well, is what people have gone through in their previous relationships that make it hard for them to find somebody, because they're just like, oh, well, this person fucked me over before, or this happened before, right? Like, what makes you different? What makes you so special that I'm not going to get...
What makes me special?
No, not you particularly. Stop your Bachelor episode.
Yeah, okay. Well,
yeah, well, let me tell you why I'm so special. No, but in general.
Your Bachelor episode.
Yeah. So what are your interests? No, but you're right. And, you know,
Long walks on the beach.
I think it's really great that you and I can talk so openly about the past and things like that. But not everybody can do that either, right? Like, it's not...
Hey, everyone's going to be a little different.
Of course. And that's what makes us all cool. I feel like I say that literally every episode, but it's true. Yeah, every episode is my thing. We're all different, and that's what makes us great. But yeah, so...
There's more to this, though.
Okay.
There's more to it.
Tell me.
So in saying...
Yeah.
Like Bachelor Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but so...
Pops out with the roses.
So if I walked out... Mm-hmm. And like I said, you disappeared. I found someone else. What is it about me? Okay. What is it about me that would make it happen easily? I think it would.
I have no idea.
Because sometimes I wonder if these people talk all this shit and they're like, it's so hard for me to find somebody. I can never find. And then it's like, when was the last time you looked in the mirror at how you carried yourself as a person, maybe? I don't know.
One thing that I've always appreciated from you that I never really got from anyone else, if you're asking me what I think it is that might make you different, is that you just don't play any games. And games, from what I remember in the dating world, were a thing. You play hard to get a little bit. You're posting up selfies, hoping that they double tap. But like when you're pissed off a little bit, like there was all these games that people would play, myself included. I got wrapped up in the game world, you know, and you just didn't play any of those games at all. You came in right hot and you're like, yeah, I like you. And that's it. Let's hang out. Let's chat. And I don't think everybody comes in with that mentality. Yeah. I think some people are, like I said, a bit reserved. And they're like, do I need to play a game? Is this hard to get? Is this rather
what
than
a
just
weird, stupid thing.
I know.
This little like cachet of shit you got to do
like cat and dog or whatever it is.
Weird.
Yeah, this totally
is such
weird.
an interesting thing. You're right.
Yeah.
Like, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I feel like you do, too, for the most part. Don't you put it all out there? That's kind of a Gemini thing,
well,
isn't it?
I do now, but I maybe didn't right away. I don't know.
But I just feel like almost with what we were saying earlier, where last episode or whatever it was, when we were just talking about how, you know, life's so short, and you have, like, one chance at this life. Like, why spend your life just dicking around with people and hurting people and stuff? I just don't understand it.
I know. One thing I have a hard time understanding is, well, I was gonna say, have you ever cheated? But we talked about this a couple episodes when you did with bleep, and that situation. But otherwise, have you ever been in a situation, even when you were younger, like when you were in your relationships in high school and stuff, where you cheated on somebody?
No. There was a micro situation, but at the same time, I don't really think we were in a relationship. Like when I went out to Alberta. Oh my God, Cindy. when I went out to Alberta.
Yeah.
And I were together, but sort of weirdly not together. Okay. I don't know. Like.
Okay. Just confusing.
It was super confusing. And when I came home, I kind of half think she had something going on, but then that kind of fizzled out because I came home. It was all weird. So when I was out there, I got with one or two people, hung out with them, whatnot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like I was 18 and on the other side of the country, and like there was like this unsaid thing that we were sort of not together. I don't know.
So there wasn't like any animosity or like hatred about that. You just kind of did your own thing and came back together, really.
Tell you the truth, I don't even know if we ever talked about it.
Oh. If you're listening,
I'm sorry. No. Yeah. Trust me, she had some shit anyway. I remember rolling up to the Tim Hortons and seeing her there with another guy that had a car and I didn't. Like I would have been like, oh my God, I don't even know, 17, 18, something like that. Anyway, I didn't have a car at the time, and she's up there hanging out with some dude with a car. I'm like, God.
The young drama.
This guy doing the 17-inch spinners.
But the young drama feels like the actual end of the world.
Yeah, it does.
Because it kind of is the end of your world.
What's your first couple times going through shit?
Yes.
Like the first time you have your heart shattered and it's
I'll never
awful.
forget. I have a couple of moments. One of them when I thought that I was dating a bleep, and I went away to.
Can you stop saying bleep?
Like actually,
just say the goddamn name and we'll bleep it after. Right? If you want me engaged in this, say the name.
Sorry, I was dating.
Oh my God!
And I went away to Jamaica or wherever with my parents, and at that time it was dial-up internet, right? So you're sitting in like this one little room, and there's like 3 computers. They're so big, they take up like the whole desk, and you're just trying to dial in and get on MSN for 5 minutes to see what's going on back at home.
Yeah, send you a pixelated
and
DP.
I straight up thought that I was in a relationship with this guy, and then I logged on MSN. And his name had a different initial beside it with a flower.
Oh my!
And I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" I was.
Where were you at the time?
Like away on vacation, and my heart.
What's with you and your vacations? Everyone's always breaking your heart while you're
I
away on
know.
vacation.
And I was devastated. Like when I tell you, like you know that feeling when your heart literally sinks.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I was like gonna throw up, and I messaged him. I'm like, "Hey, like nice MSN name." He's like, we'll talk about it when you get home or whatever. And at that time, it was March break, right? So he was having all sorts of people over to his house and in the basement and stuff. And I just remember being like, what? So I was heartbroken anyway. And where was I going with this? Oh, yes. How when you're young, those are just as much of a blow as when you're older, if not worse, because it's like earth-shattering, life-ending.
So you're telling me you were in a relationship with No, we're leaving White Shoes in. And you're telling me you were in a relationship with him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
And you went away on vacation with your family.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden this guy's his MSN name changed.
That's right.
Oh my God.
What a blow.
So
what
lame.
A low blow.
Yeah.
But he did. I think he loved me a lot. He was my first love. So I don't hold any resentment, but I'm just like, what the fuck? But when you're a kid, you're like, you know, you do some stupid shit. And obviously she's a total hottie and came over and he was like, oh, well, yeah.
Oh, you know who it was?
Of course I do. We were friends.
She was your friend?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The drama. But honestly,
Was she hot?
Yeah, totally. She's a total babe.
Hotter
but
than you?
well, it's totally different types of people.
She was blonde.
But yeah, she was. How'd you know? I had a lot of drama though in my high school, in my everything.
Tell me.
Well, I mean, to the point where my mom even wanted to send me away to boarding school at one point.
Oh my God.
But instead she sent me to a psychologist, which was actually one of the best things that ever happened to me because I was able to talk to that psychologist totally unfiltered, no bias, no, I wasn't talking to my mom or dad. I was talking to somebody else. And well, what happened was this guy, we furthered our relationship into high school, and then we broke up, but I was in like, and again, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but he was going through some shit when we broke up and making me feel like I should stay with him and like kind of like saying those types of things to make me feel shitty about it. Again, you're young, you say stupid stuff, whatever. but I was also falling for and they both had older brothers that were cool in the school, right? And popular, that I'm using air quotations. So Todd cool guy. His brothers were super cool. Was a cool guy. His brothers were super cool. All the girls in between those years thought that those guys were really cool, right? So then in comes Sheridan, and please remember that I do not drink, I do not party. I'm just a girl that lives at Langham, solo dolo. So everyone hates me because I don't associate with these people. I'm not partying with them. I'm just some girl that has me and what? These are the two coolest guys, right?
Yeah, and they can't even get the drama going with you because you're not even paying them any mind or showing up where they are.
So then, but and were friends. I think I should mention that. Now, were they good friends? I can't remember. It was so long ago, but I feel like they were friends enough that like I fucked that up. I did. But came in hot, like I'm telling you. Like he came, just like you. You guys are so similar. He came in hot.
If I was gay, I would be with Tom. Straight up. I love him so much. God's man. What up?
Yeah, we're still bleeping you out now.
What up, boo? No,
yeah. So anyway, all to say, it was a disaster, and everybody was against Sheridan. It's like some people picked team, some people picked team. Like it was a whole.
God, you're so annoying.
It was a whole thing. But I really like.
No,
but I really liked. But I didn't know how to like. Because he's my first love.
He had nice white shoes.
Yeah, he did, and he's a great guy. But I was just kind of falling for the next guy. And that's what happens, obviously. It's normal behavior. But I, as I said previously, had a hard time closing that door. I wanted to keep it open for friendship purposes, for I'll still be there purposes. No.
Jump back over and
I just had a hard time closing a door. So that's kind of on me, because I would maybe keep him not like doing anything with him, but just keep him there, which was not fair. It was not fair. And then I would move on. Right. So not cool.
You're awful.
No, yeah.
You're an awful human.
No, but I had good intentions. I did. I wasn't trying to be a jerk. I just didn't know how to say no anymore.
Yeah, just like you still don't.
Right. I'm really
still
bad
doesn't know how to say no to plans and stuff.
That's true. I'm very bad at that. I know. I'm guilty of it. And then
the only thing you're good at saying no to is when I try and get laid.
I'm very absolutely no.
Hell no, definitely not happening. No way.
Yeah. Anyway, so
comes down in a snowsuit.
So that was really bad, and that was in grade 9 and 10. And I remember I was so anxious about it that I would go every day at lunchtime to Walter Baker, which was like a recreation center attached to my high school, and throw up in the washroom. Yeah, every day, every single day, because lunchtime makes me nervous as hell, because everyone would hang out in this one area and I'd have to walk by and they'd all be staring at me. And like, I was bullied a lot for this, like to the point where I would get like harassing messages like, "You're a fucking idiot. Come here. I'm going to beat you up," like girls and stuff. Right.
What?
I know. Meanwhile, I'm just trying to move on here. But everyone was so involved in this. Like every person that's listening to this that is from Barrhaven that went to John McRae knows exactly what I'm talking about. They do, because it was like the talk of the everybody knew about it. Anyway.
Talk of the town?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess the talk of Barrhaven.
Wow. It's a little town.
And then I went from Taylor to because he showed up at high school. Like he didn't go to our school, right? He came over from another school because he had graduated, but then not. So he rolled in, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I got over to
Oh, okay.
and then I got over. But that was horrible because he was having a really hard time. He was going through some anger issues and stuff like this. So that was also just as dramatic. But it didn't need to be. It just was. But again, like everybody in our high school was like kind of friends. So like became friends with him a little bit. And like we were all just, and it was just really bad.
Became friends with who?
Yes. They played on the same basketball team together. Oh. Right. So then I'm rolling up to the basketball games and I'm like there to look at and like looking at me, and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is so dramatic and horrible."
Oh, you kind of loved it though.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't.
It's your face. Yeah, you did.
did.
You're annoying.
It's just funny to think back on that. Like when I was like 16, 17, you're in like your prime of like love and romance and shit.
That's your prime?
Well, for love and romance. No, but
what?
No, like
what
okay, so listen,
romance?
I started watching this show the summer I turned pretty. It's on Amazon Prime, and I binged that show like no other. And it's about a girl that's 16 years old, and she goes to the like a big Hampton cottage house that she's been going to her whole life. And there's two guys there, and they both kind of love her.
You love little high school dramas.
No, I'm just.
Look at you. Oh
No.
my God.
Nice.
You love this episode and you love this shit.
I'm just saying that there was a lot of shit that happened and that went down. And it is what it is.
Are you going to keep going with this? I'm really invested here now, Sheridan.
Well, no, that was it. And then,
Truest and most passionate love.
no, I'm getting to you, hon.
No, oh my, no.
No, I was in it for the drama for some reason. I liked the drama a little bit. I did.
Oh, you did.
A little bit. I don't know why. I certainly didn't like hurting people's feelings, but they were also hurting mine too. Like Tyler on me 100 times. Let's not give him the benefit of the doubt here. He was best friends with this girl. And they went away to Cancun and banged when we were full on dating.
Then he changes MSN.
Yeah. But so it's like it's not like I was leading people on. Like they were all doing some shit too.
Yeah.
Okay. They were not perfect. And then, and then I got together with and then I went off to university and we broke up and I did my thing in university. And
what were you doing there?
Some stuff with some people.
Oh my God.
No, but the difference is like a lot of people in high school weren't in full on relationships.
Yeah.
Like I was. I was in relationship after relationship after relationship. Everybody else was just kind of making out with everyone and doing their thing.
Really? In our high school, I feel like there was a lot of relationships. I think.
Well, I don't think so. I don't know.
I think.
It's hard to remember now, right? It kind of feels like high school was yesterday, but also it's been like, what? How long?
Well, for me, I mean...
It's been at least 15 years for me.
19 years, 18 years, something like that.
It's been a long ass time.
Yeah. 19. Yeah. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. I passed the threshold. It's more than half my life ago.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Anyway, those high school dramas are like upstairs in my storage room, my mom kept all those love notes. Wow. They're all up there. If you want to go through.
Yeah, next year will be my 20-year high school reunion.
You're really thinking about that?
Well, the interesting thing about this now is it used to be after 20, 25, 30 years and shit, you would see people and be like, whoa, like, right. What happened to you? What do you do?
Right.
Who are you now? Like, and now with social media,
I know
that surprise and
it's
excitement.
Like, how was your burger yesterday?
Yeah, literally. Like, oh yeah, how was Lawrencetown yesterday? Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice. Like everyone kind of knows everything about everyone's stuff now.
It's true.
And I don't know, maybe it's a good thing, I guess. You know more, but it's just...
Is it, though?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Makes the reunions less exciting.
Yeah.
Like, when we did our 10-year reunion down at the Argo, I mean, there was really nothing to say. Like, it wasn't like, oh, how are you? What are you doing? Stuff. It was really just sitting down shooting the show with people that you pretty much know everything about them at this point anyway.
Yeah.
Because Facebook would have been around then. I mean, that would have been 9 years ago, so...
It's interesting that I don't know what to call us. What do we call ourselves? Like, what are we called? Millennials?
No, we would be
Gen Z?
Gen Zs, I think, yeah.
Okay, well, anyway, that we grew up...
Or are we the Gen X?
I don't know. It doesn't matter.
Generation are we? You should know this.
I don't know.
Okay, keep going.
All to say that we grew up through a lot of changes. Not to say that our kids won't, but I just feel like in terms of the internet, like
I'm gonna look this up.
We didn't have the internet when things started. Hence why I was passing actual notes in class, right? You didn't have a phone. So you were writing little love notes and folding them up and sending them off to your crush. Can you pass this to so-and-so in class, right? And then we got the phones and our cell phones didn't have...
We're millennial.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought. I was right the first time. So our phones had barely anything on it. And then you'd have... if you've lost track, because I know you can't do two things at once.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So I'm just talking about the fact that our generation has grown up with the lack there of internet and connection to being full on connected 24/7.
We're the best. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it's just sometimes,
I love us for that.
But sometimes I just think back and I'm like, man, I miss those days where, you would run home and call your best friend and talk to them for an hour and a half and be like, gotta go. And then you'd hang up and you would leave and you wouldn't be so connected. Here I am looking at my phone. My mom's called me 3 times while we're sitting having this conversation, right? Whereas before, like, it just wasn't there. And I think, like, I even remember when I was a kid, I would look out of my back seat and daydream. Like, I would literally daydream, think of full things in my head, play out whole scenarios. I don't do that anymore. When I have like an ounce of being like, what the fuck am I gonna do now? I pick up my stupid phone.
Yeah.
I don't daydream.
You don't have to.
But I can't help it. I'm tempted.
Do it.
Yeah.
So do we have more of your stories to go, or what? Where are we right now?
Is it even interesting to the outside world?
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know either.
What about your car that got shot up? There's a story for you people.
That is
sure. We're driving around the hood wagon.
No, what? Again, this is just me.
Sharon had a thing for gangsters.
Yeah, well, there was a guy that that's not true. He started off as a basketball player that I thought was cute in university.
We've been beating around the bush for so long now.
About what? No.
No, but I mean 20 minutes ago, 30 minutes ago, or whatever, when you were like,
I have to pee.
Oh, wow. Sheridan. Well, you've been saying that you were like attracted to like guys that would bring shit to your life. I was gonna continue on the fact that you would like go for little thugs and stuff like that. Yes, I'm saying it.
Don't say that.
Sheridan, fuck off.
Okay, I know what Matt wanted to say before he interrupts and barges.
Are you
in
back
here.
from your pee? Is this what
Yeah.
you're doing? Yeah.
Matt wanted to say that I liked the Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna say.
and it's true. And I don't know why. I just did. Granted, the people in high school.
Look, you won't
really.
let me talk now. She's like,
I know.
I'm cutting him off. I don't want him saying controversial.
No.
A lot of people are like that. My sister was the exact same way. Hannah, it's a thing. Women love the bad boy thing. It's you've even said it about me because I have the appearance of it, but I kind of clean my act up. So it's, people like that kind of little bit of a rough around the edge kind of vibe. Lots of women go for it.
This also furthers back to me thinking that I could help people, though, right? So,
Hannah was the same way.
what Matt's referring to when my car was involved in a drive-by was when I saw this guy that I liked, he was playing basketball when I was at Acadia, and I was like, okay, he's cute. What's this guy up to? And he was like giving me the eye. So I ended up finding out who he was through somebody else, and we connected. We started chatting right away, and I really liked him. He was a really nice, funny guy. Again, like every person that I've ever been with and spent time with, I genuinely liked. And if I didn't, I was like, okay, see you later. Like we were friends. We had fun, whatever. He was up to no good. And it was really quite a revelation for me when, well, first of all, I went to his house one time and realized that I was going to be sleeping in a shed. Like I wasn't sleeping in his home. I was sleeping in his shed. And like I had to pee and I went like around outside the back of the shed. Like
a shed.
A literal
like lawnmower, whippersnapper, you.
I'm trying to remember, but I feel like there was a pull-out couch, but like smelled like pee. Like it was just not a good situation. And I don't know what I was thinking. At the time, I was just like, I don't know, this is fine. And like there's people coming and going, like some shit was going down, I'm sure. But I'm just like so oblivious. Like that was my thing, right? Sheridan, that's just like so sweet and innocent, like going for all these like bad boys that are really up to no good. And I'm just like acting like I don't know what's going on when I really didn't know what was going on. I was just like, I'm the good one here to help you. Like, let me be your helper. Not helper in bad ways. I mean like, let me help you.
Pass me the banana clips, honey.
No, I just mean let me be a good person for you in your life. And anyway, so I went to the Bahamas and I got a phone call when I was in the Bahamas, and that phone call said, "Hey Sheridan." I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?"
On vacation.
That's
again.
right.
Oh my God, man.
Vacation's not good for me. Just want to let you know your car's in the impound right now. And I was like, excuse me. And again, like I have no money, right? And like my dad had paid for that car. It was insurance under his name and everything.
Integra or something, right?
It was a Honda Civic. So there's no way I can get this car out on my own. So I'm panicking. I'm like, oh my, what am I gonna do? I'm like, well, why is the car in the pound or in impounded? Or he's like, well, it's a bit of an incident. This is, of course, not how he's talking to me, but basically letting me know that there was a drive-by that he was a part of in my car. And then you drove off. And I was like, excuse me? Because, again, I don't live this lifestyle.
You'd think at some point a light bulb would go off on top of your head. And be
again,
like,
at this point,
sure.
Right. But I'm just sitting there thinking.
Maybe don't go out with guys that have Uzis sitting
right. Yeah.
like,
and no,
what?
this is probably a crazy story to my followers. They're like, what in the actual Sheridan? But
it's crazy hearing it now from you. Like, I know this and it's crazy.
Right. So I call my dad up.
I'm contemplating everything with you right now.
I literally said to him, are there any anything on my car that I need to worry about? Like, did anything get hit with it? And he's like, no, it's all good. I'm like, okay then. And to me, I'm just like, what happened
Oh, I
was...
thought the car did get hit.
No. He called me beforehand, before I went to the Bahamas, and he's like, can I borrow your car for the week to go to and from basketball and stuff like that? I'm like, absolutely. This is me. Sure, no problem. If you need to go to practice, like, that's a great idea. Drop me off at the airport. Like, no worries. Then midway through the week, I'm like, oh, it wasn't basketball practice, I guess. So, anywho, I call my dad up, and I'm like, Dad, I need to get the car out of the pound. And the funniest thing is, I didn't even tell him like why it was there. I just said something had happened and like to help me out with it, which he did. And I said, do not ever speak of this to Mom. Like, we will never bring this up. And then we're at the dinner table like years later. We're sitting there with Brittany and my parents. And Brittany brings it up without realizing, and she said something, and my dad just looks at me, and I look at my mom, and I'm like,
God.
right, because this was like buried deep down, right? And Brittany's like, did nobody know about this?
Oh my God.
I'm like, that's gonna be a no, but they know now. Good thing it was 7 years ago or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But that was quite a story, and I have some stories. Like, that's just one of many, and we don't need to go into all the stories, but that was maybe a point where I was like, okay. This isn't it, but
it's a little ridiculous.
It is a little ridiculous.
So all this to say,
yeah, I love Matt.
Oh my God! But I think
I'm a little worried about Kaya growing up. Can't deny that.
Oh my God! I think about it all the time. My little girl.
I like to hope that we are like. I talk to Kaya a lot, even for example, like my period. So I'm very open with the kids. The way our bedroom works is we don't actually have a door on the bathroom. We kind of like walk around and it's all there. And my kids come and go as they please all the time. So Kai comes in the other day. She's known about what a period is for a while, but I had my period. And she was like, oh, you got your period? I'm like, sure do. She's like, when will I get my period? And I was like, yeah, one of these days. Like, you will get it. That's how you make a baby. Like, we were talking about all this stuff. So then anyway, at the hockey game, at the Memorial Cup, it's just me and her. And she's like, well, when's this over? I was like, well, the period's almost over. And she goes, a period? You have your period in front of everyone. And I was like, perfect. Thanks, Kaya. Love that. But all to say, like, I'm very open about everything with our kids.
Yeah.
And I just hope that they reciprocate that. I mean, of course they're going to hide stuff from us. That's just what kids do.
I don't know if they will.
Of course they will.
I don't know.
You think Kai's going to be telling about who she's chatting to and sending little winky faces?
Yeah, I think so. I think she'll tell me. Because I'm pretty non-judgmental, right?
But
I think I'm a cool
you're her
dad.
dad.
Yeah.
You're her dad.
Yeah.
Even to the point when she had a crush on that boy at school, she's still like hesitant to say it because we're her parents. It's just what kids do.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're cool parents, though. I don't know.
Well, I
Maybe
guess
I'm
we'll
crazy,
find out. Do you have any one X story that you would like to tell on this episode before we wrap it up?
I don't know. Do I? I mean, I have a lot of stories.
You have a lot of stories. Is there any that won't just... See, again, it's teetering between, do we want to just talk all this shit and get like so many people really knowing the depth level of what we went through, or are we trying to be respectful?
The stuff that we've gone through is a dime a dozen. Everyone goes through this stuff.
I know.
Every single person. Like our stories are minuscule compared to some. Like it's.
Of course.
I bet you 100% of the people that are watching this right now are like, "Yeah, that happened to me." Maybe not the drive-by, but people get cheated on, people get screwed over, people fall in love 1,000 times all the time. This is life. I was in 2, 3.
Who? Who's the other one?
Yeah, I mean, Sarah and I were together for, like, in high school. We were together in grade 10, I think it was. Mm-hmm. We were together for 6 or 7 months in grade 10.
Ooh,
like, that was like
deal.
a full school year just about. And that was pretty crazy. And she's the woman that I lost my virginity to.
Yeah, he always talks about how big her boobs were and how great it was.
No.
Yes,
no,
you
that's
do.
somebody else.
Oh, sorry.
No, her boobs were like great, but not massive. I would have never classified them as in the big bucket, but she would have been the first person that I fell in love with.
Right.
I loved so much, and she was the first person that I had a thing with.
Right.
And I lost my virginity to her, and
that's a big deal.
Every weekend was spent. Me at her house, her at my house, whatever. But we didn't have a lot of sex. We had sex one time, and then other stuff, obviously. But we only actually had sex once, and then she thought she was pregnant.
I remember this.
And this to me was like, my God, like my life is over. When I found out that she was pregnant, which she wasn't, but when I found out that.
Because how old were you?
16.
Yeah.
16? 15 or 16.
Right.
Anyway, that was crazy. You holding your yawns in? Am I boring you or what, baby?
No. Sorry.
It was, that was crazy. So anyway, when we split up, I don't even remember the reason for us splitting up, but then I ended
probably
up.
because of Chris.
No, we split up organically, and then Chris came into my life, and then she knocked my socks off. Like, was like my like sex buddy through high school. Like we were like,
You hear that, hun?
yeah. But we were together for 5 or 6 years. Like she was my high school sweetheart.
Yeah.
We were together for grade 11, grade 12. We got an apartment together. Like we were a thing.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like she was the person that I did all the high school stuff. We went to prom with, all that shit. Got my first apartment with a woman, and it was her, and like all that stuff.
And that's so fun to think about, isn't it?
Yeah, and to this day, we're kind of friends. Like we split up and didn't talk for a while, and not on any bad terms, just through proximity. I mean, I was out in Alberta for a bit, and she was going to Dal and blah, blah, blah. I don't even remember. We were just so busy, I didn't really see her for a long time. But, I mean, we're still friends. And oddly enough, at our wedding, Sheridan got pink eye right for our wedding. And she's an optometrist now, and she actually fixed your eye. I was like, who can I message to fix Sheridan's eye before our wedding, like the day of? And she brought you and gave you, like, the super booster shot to your eye and everything.
Is serendipitous a word for that one?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think it would be serendipitous.
Well, anyway, there's something to that. The fact that on our wedding day, you were able to message your ex, and she was like, absolutely, bring her in.
Yeah.
Like, let me help you.
Well, Talina said it was a testament to how great of a man I am. She's like, the fact that you're Matt's Bachelor episode.
Yeah.
No.
This is the highlight. The highlight reel.
No, but just the fact that I could call up an ex and she helped you out with your eye on our wedding.
Of course.
Which is kind of cool.
Yes.
And then after that, I was with and then was the woman.
Yes.
I love a lot.
Oh my God.
No, that's all right though. We owned a house together. She had a son.
No, sorry. If I rewind that, did you say I loved or love? I thought I heard you say I love.
No,
a lot.
Oh,
okay. I
still love her a lot.
Just revelation after revelation.
No, but we had I thought our relationship was great.
Yeah.
He had a son, and so he was my stepson, and I raised him from the time he was like, I don't know, 4 or 5 months old or something like that up until he was 7. Mm-hmm. So, see, my story's a little different than yours, where you had like hundreds of fucking
hundreds.
Oh, buddy. The dick pool. No, but like these little micro relationships where mine were boom, boom. Like you said, I'm very loyal, very faithful. To me, I'm trying to think. To me, there's so many complications in life. Just life is such a difficult thing. Just navigating and trying to be the best person you can be and have a good career and keep your relationships and ties with your family and friends and all that stuff that like I'm just not in the mood to fight with my partner and find a new partner every other month and this shit.
Some people really like dating though and being with a bunch of other people.
and that's fine. I don't.
But you have made mention at the fact that because our window was so small when you broke up with her and got together with me, that you didn't have the opportunity to try and date or be with anybody else.
Yeah.
Which you have said kind of sucks.
No, but they're like back in the Plenty of Fish days and all that shit. Like I went on dates and liked every single person that I went out with, except this one chick. She was so weird.
Weird? What's wrong with weird?
No,
weird for you?
No, so... let's skip over this one.
Okay.
I said something that I shouldn't have said when I first walked in and saw her in her apartment.
Okay, then
you
blew it. Let's not say it then.
No, so when I walked into the apartment, she was smoking.
Yeah.
And the room was filled with smoke.
Right.
And then I said something about
what did you say? Stop. Just stop.
No,
stop.
No, it's all right. It's all right. So I said, holy, I feel I'm going to get lung cancer just standing here. The room was like grayed out with smoke. And then come to find out that her mom had lung cancer. So that whole like blind date situation went downhill very quick.
Yeah.
But we still went out on the date and everything.
Right.
It was so weird. Like we were sitting at like the mustache or something like that, and she wouldn't talk to me. It was so strange. It's like, why did you even come out?
Right.
This is so lame.
Right.
And then we were taking a bus back to Clayton Park, and I didn't walk her home. I let her get off the bus in the dark and walk to her place. I was just like, I'm not even going to waste the calories walking you to your house around. This is the worst.
That's so unlike you.
Oh yeah, I would never let that happen.
Yeah.
I just had to get away from her, which is awful. It was just crazy. Never talked to her again.
Wow.
She's kind of hot though. So yeah, like I did lots of little dates and stuff like that. But I liked 99% of the people. I feel like. I don't know. Maybe do I bring the best out in people?
Well,
I don't
you're
know.
also not a dramatic guy. You don't feed
I'm the
off
most dramatic human ever.
as a person, but with the drama, you're not about it. Like you're a dramatic person, but you don't feed off the drama. Where some people really feed off the drama. And truth be told, I probably did.
Yeah.
I probably fed off of the attention and the drama. And like I'm really being honest here because it's kind of a lame thing, but it's true. And then, I realized once I got together with you, I was like, that is so stupid. Like, why did I waste all my time doing that? But when you get caught up in that,
waste, though.
No, but when you get caught up in all of that, like some people end up dating people like you and they have these long relationships and it's great, you break up, blah, blah, blah. But like mine was just so dramatic all over the place in every single fashion until I got with you.
So
and here we are.
So do I talk about and any of those trials and
Oh,
tribulations?
yes. Sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
You trying to end the episode? I got
No.
another 15 rant in here.
I know. I just.
Yeah, we got some work to do, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I do.
No, but I'm ready for a story. Which one are you going to lay out?
Well, no. I mean, Nick and I were together for a long time, and I think, if anything, that's probably the most interesting piece of any story told today. Like, I was in a relationship with a woman for 7 years and then found out towards the tail end of it that she was cheating on me relentlessly through the whole thing.
And she still has never admitted to that.
Never admitted to it.
Right. With physical evidence, hard evidence.
Oh my God. And just, love is blind. It's such a true thing. Like when you hear people throw that around, like love is blind. It's like album cover. It's like album names and stuff like that. But it's so true. I feel like when you're inside a relationship, go ahead.
I just really want to tell that story about when I was at my brother's launch party because I feel like this is a perfect example of how your love was blind. So as you have heard now, the story of how Matt and I first ever met was at my brother's clothing thing. And he ended up having a launch party for it. And I was there. And like Matt and I were never friends. We never spoke. I just knew of him through my brother. And he came to the party with his ex. And I'll never forget that because again, like I was just doing my thing in Halifax, whatever. Like I was certainly not in a relationship. And I'll never forget, Matt was at the bar doing his thing, having shots, hanging out with the homies, doing whatever, like so oblivious. And she was kind of going around to the point where she was so affectionate with everybody and touchy with everybody that I was under the assumption, because I didn't know Matt, that she was trying to get somebody for them to bring back together, like that they were in an open relationship. Like, because I was like, well, if Matt's not, like, if he doesn't care, then they must be in an open relationship. Like, this was what my mentality was. That is how Love is Blind was for you. Like, you didn't even see it.
Yeah. I wasn't, no. I was,
Right.
I don't know if I was so self-absorbed or what it was. I just had so much going on in my life.
Well,
like,
I
was
also
so
think that,
focused on my career.
but also, you're not like that. So you wouldn't expect her to be like that because you weren't paying attention to the like, oh, well, is she cheating because I also, right?
Yeah.
You were just like, this is great. I'm in love and life is good.
Well, we had mutual friends and stuff too, right? I mean, she was like one of my best friends' stepbrother.
Right.
Like Jeff's
Jeff's
right.
half
sister or whatever the hell, stepsister, whatever she'd be. But like we had a lot of good times together, and the way that we kind of came together was very interesting. Like we had kind of a cool backstory to us and stuff, and I thought I was gonna be with her forever. Like I could just, it's just the way that things were going. We bought a house together and all this stuff, and but I mean, I had an inkling that there was cheating going on for a while. Like she would go down to the Dome, like not often, like the Dome and the Palace and stuff like that. Like she'd go down there with her friends, and I never questioned. I just didn't care. I'd stay home and I'd work through the night, whatever. I didn't really care too much because, I put my faith in people to be good people. I didn't really have to worry about it. And then I remember she was hanging out with this dude, this married guy. And it's not someone else. This is actually before. I don't even know if I ever even told you this, but she was hanging out with this married dude, and she would always make it seem like she was going over to his house and like his wife was there and their kids and stuff like that. And I, why would I think anything of this? Go say hi to them, whatever. I mean, why would I have not gone? I don't know. I don't know. She just had these things going on that didn't seem.
But you thought it was a whole family there.
Yeah, and it didn't seem like a mysterious thing because, I mean, she'd always wrap it up in a smile and whatever. It's not like she was like, I'm going over to his house. I'll be back sometime. It was like, yeah, I'm going to run over to John's place. Melanie's there. Whatever. Like, I didn't really think much of it. And so anyway, we went to the U2 concert when they were in New Brunswick. They were up in Moncton, and we went to the U2 concert. Dan Marshall, whole bunch of us went up there, had the best time ever. It was 2 days of a rock concert. It was crazy. It was like the best time ever. And I remember the next morning after this whole thing, we drove back from Moncton, and I sat down. Like I was a pretty big weed smoker then. So like the first thing I would have did when I got home from something like that is I would have plopped down in front of my MacBook and rolled a joint up. Right. And I remember doing that. I was like a little hungover from the weekend stuff and whatever. Would have been at his dad's place, and was sitting behind me on the couch, and I sat down at my computer and rolled a J up, and I was just sitting there probably like one hand over on my MacBook checking my emails and stuff, and I went on Facebook and had or maybe it was my email. I can't remember. Probably Facebook, because how would she have got my email? But I've got a message from this guy's wife.
Perfect.
I should go back and find that. So anyway, I have a message. Well, I mean, they're all there. I wouldn't have deleted it. So I have a message from this guy's wife saying, I want you to know that your wife's been having an affair, or your girlfriend, whatever. Your girlfriend's been having an affair on you with my husband for 6 months or something like that. Every time she comes over to my house, they've been fucking around and everything. Oh yeah, this whole thing gets revealed. And I'm sitting here, he's right behind me with a joint in my mouth. And I'm sitting here and like, I didn't even know what to say. Like
Did you believe it?
No, she had me like convinced that it wasn't true. And that's
But when you first got that message,
I went crazy.
But did you believe it when you first read that message?
I don't know. I know that was the lowest point in our relationship before we actually fully split up.
Okay.
That was the lowest point. I don't really remember the little nuances of this situation, but I remember kind of backing up from the computer and just being like, what the fuck? And her being like, what? And I was like, what? And she's like, what? Like this kind of like this, almost like, what is going on kind of thing. And then she went over and read my computer, and this turned into this big thing. And I left for like a couple days. And
where did you go?
I must have gone to mom's place or something. We were done. And she had to beg her way back into the relationship. And the only reason that I ever stuck around through anything was because of it. And
can I ask a question? Did you get her to explain things to you and what exactly happened before you took her back? Or did you just let bygones be bygones?
I walked away from it thinking that nothing happened between her and the man.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Love is blind.
Oh yeah. And I hear this shit somewhat frequently about how people will just, you see the best in your partner and just kind of turn a blind eye to the bullshit. And especially when kids are involved.
Yes.
Especially when you see a little human that you have to be there for. Like I was his rock, and to just disappear would have been earth shattering for this little boy.
And that was,
and so it was another one of those things. But I had a lot of friends around me at the time that were like, man,
you had friends that were telling you, and you chose not to believe
them.
No,
but in particular, I'm thinking of Dave Gordon. Dave Gordon and I were walking down Argyle Street, and I remember him giving me like a real pep talk. I can't focus when you're scrolling through Instagram. That's so rude.
Oh my God!
Imagine trying to have a conversation.
It's my ADD, hun. That's how I can concentrate on both. You can't.
Flip the phone over. I can't sit there looking at you when you're sitting there scrolling through Instagram. Are you
Dave
for real?
Gordon?
we're walking down the road, and he was like giving me this like real like life pep talk about this whole thing, just saying, you know,
Because you told him what had happened?
Yeah, and he was just like, oh yeah, also no, because you told him what, like, yeah, trying to get like
So
extra into it now.
invested,
You're such a douche. Oh my god, you know I can't focus on shit. Once I see you scrolling, it's like what? So anyway. And
You didn't finish that conversation. So.
No, I mean, there wasn't much more to it. I mean, I took her back and whatever, and we continued.
But what about this Dave Gordon guy's conversation? What did that have to do with anything?
No, he was really just saying, like, you know, whatever you do in your life, I support you, and, like, you know, you have a good heart, Matt, and that kind of thing. You know, be very cognizant of and all those things. He gave me a really good conversation. Just want to point out that was right when Drake dropped... Take Care. So that would have been 2011. I can timestamp it with that album. And that album kind of got me through the whole thing. Drake, Take Care. That was like my breakup kind of album.
Yeah.
With Nick. So we were back together, and fast forward, and this just continued on and on and on. Like I was finding messages on her iMac where like some dude sent her a Headley song or something like that to her inbox, and they were like the lyrics about a guy who moved away and but was still in love with his girl back home and everything, and like he worked with her at the hotel, and this, oh my God, this guy, man, her and I drove him home one day, and he was almost just kind of weird in the car, but whatever. Yeah. And then I find out like 8 months later or whatever that this guy's sending my girl messages about like moving away and still in love with her and all that stuff. And I was like, oh great, add that to the pile. Oh my God. That one actually ticked me off a lot, because it's like, in hindsight now, in the moment, I didn't think much of it. It's just like, she sloughed that off to just being like a good friend that moved away and whatever. Just always able to just sweep it under the rug.
They are, though.
Crazy, man.
People like that can
crazy.
Do that. Yeah.
Pathological friggin' liars.
And cheaters, yeah. And they make you feel like you're the crazy one.
Do I tell the real doozy?
No.
No, skip that one. Skip that one because you got to go to work.
It's a doozy. It's a doozy. Yeah. Let's end it on that.
Yeah, you think?
Unless you also just want to...
No, whatever.
Okay. So there was a lot... We've had a lot of...
I guess we could have a part 2 of this, because I've got a banger of a story right now, but it's probably like 10 minutes. So we'll save that for the next one.
Ooh.
What are we at right now? We got an hour and 12.
Okay, let's wrap it up. I love you. Glad we ended up together.
It's the Bachelor episode for Matt.
Well, we both went through some shit.
Yeah,
for sure. And again, like you, and even on the part 2, like I don't know why I try to be so respectful about my past relationship, but there's a lot of shit that went down there too. A lot.
We have to continue this at some point.
Yeah.
Like people are gonna be like, why are you stopping these stories?
Yeah, because that affected me greatly, and I was definitely in an abusive relationship in some sense. And
absolutely. Yeah,
and I did not see that until I got out of that relationship, because I was so blinded and it was so toxic. And that's something we could talk about, because it's not only is it just like, yes, people want the hot gossip, but it's also just good to talk about these things out loud so that other people can hear it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll do a part
They're
2.
interesting. I mean, like when I sit down and watch a show and this kind of stuff is happening in a show or something, like I find it super interesting.
Yeah, but like again, like
it's relatable to people too. I mean, everyone's been through something.
But
like
I
this.
always say stuff like how happy I am that I found you, how special you are to me, and like people understand that, but I don't think they actually understand like what I went through before I found you, and just how much you mean to me because of that. Because what I was in was literally the biggest pile of dog shit ever. And then it's, I guess it's just on me whether I think that I want to go there or not, and whether it's the right thing to do on the podcast. I don't know. But anyway, we'll talk about that. Let's go eat. I'm absolutely starving, and I have work to do.
I think if I was going to do my little closing statement, I think my favorite thing about you is that you're really easy to get along with. It was so easy.
Yeah. I'm just thinking back to the breaststrokes.
No, in every one of my relationships before, when it ended, it was so complicated. It was like it was so hard to just get along with them. And
after it ended?
I mean, every one of them that ended, Chris and I ended in an absolutely biblical fight. Like we were in an argument, and that was the end of it, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
When it finally came to head, absolutely insane argument, months of turmoil, months of heartbreak and shit. And just like, why is it so hard to just enjoy each other? And it would have been with, with I mean, that was just complicated kind of high school shit, whatever. But I just feel like in every one of my previous relationships, like, it shouldn't be this hard to just get along and enjoy life together. I mean, life is awesome. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then when you came into my life, it just felt right. And it's something that I can't even articulate with words. It just felt easy. It was just like a couple episodes ago when we were saying, like, what's it like when nothing's going on? When the music stops and the excitement ends, do I like being around you?
Yeah.
I do. I really enjoy the quiet time with you. I enjoy the simple stuff. We don't have to be doing anything for it to be exciting. I'm excited to literally just sit in front of a microphone with you and shoot the shit.
Yeah.
Like, I like just being around you. You have good energy, and it exudes through your smile and your
Now
eyes.
my
and everything.
Bachelorette episode.
Oh, you do, Sharon, and I appreciate that about you, and I love you a lot. I'm so glad we found each other. You're my boo.
I love you too, huh? Like, subscribe to Matt's Bachelor episode.
I'm crying.
This is how well he treats women. Just like, no, I love you too.
babe.
I do so
All right.
much.
Okay, let's get to work. Jesus. Okay, we'll see you next episode.
It's the Two Gems Podcast.